You're watching the Big 12 on ESPN. It's a sellout crowd in Ames, Iowa for two of the many teams separated by one game at the top of the Big 12. Number 21 Kansas had a program-changing win last weekend, but they haven't beat Iowa State in Ames since 2008, and the Cyclones are hot. And the Big 12 is messy. There was a Texas-sized survival today. Bedlam just went final. It belonged to the Pokes. The Cyclones trying to stay with those two at the top, and the Jayhawks at 3-2. After a memorable weekend in Lawrence where Kansas beat a top 10 team at home for the first time since 1984. Topped the Sooners for the first time since 1997. Jason Bean said 2 years ago, we were begging people to come to our games. Well, Jason, now the goalposts are swimming in Potter Lake. So the question, what comes next, Chris Budden?
The question is, how do you handle success? That is what head coach Lance Leipold asked his leadership group first thing Monday morning. Said, in the past, we have not played well coming off big wins. You have to go back since 2008 when they won back-to-back conference games. So he made his team feel it, literally feel it. They went outside, played on grass in 20-degree weather. Said, I didn't want my guys getting too comfy in this whole winning thing.
A little warmer today as we welcome you upstairs in Ames. Robert Griffin III, his hat. Mike Monaco with you, and let's start with Kansas, RG3. You saw them firsthand 2 years ago. Now they're competing at the top of this conference.
Yeah, the biggest difference for them is back then they were fighting to just survive and not get embarrassed. Now they're trying to blow teams out. They've got offensive weapons all over the field, and not only is Jason Bean the fastest quarterback in the country, but he's also improved as a passer. But most importantly for them, they now believe in who they are becoming, and they have pride in playing for Kansas.
They face Iowa State, a 4-win season last year, a 1-2 start this season, yet there they are, just one loss in the Big 12.
Yeah, and nobody but the players' mamas thought that they'd be where they are right now after losing to Ohio and Iowa. But this team, they did it behind their vaunted defense, as you see that menacing look right there from the Iowa State player and their quarterback, Rocco Beck, redshirt freshman. He's done a great job protecting the football. They need a big game today out of running back Eli Sanders to make sure they can keep Kansas' offense off the field.
Big stage, big scene for these conference foes meeting for the 103rd time. They've met every year since 1932 when it was the Big Six, when Iowa State was still the Iowa State College of Agricultural and Mechanic Arts, and recently, here in Ames, it's belonged to the Cyclones.
Yes, it has. Listen, it's a night game. We're talking about a night game in Ames, Iowa. This bad boy is going to be an absolute madhouse. Being on the field before the game, you could feel the energy from the stands. We're going to have a special one here tonight.
Rocco Beck, the redshirt freshman quarterback, against Lance Leipold at Kansas, trying to follow up that major win last weekend against the Sooners on another Saturday night, this time in primetime. Well, year 3. Remember, year 1 for Lance Leipold, just a couple of wins, 2-10, and now he's got this group bowl eligible in back-to-back seasons.
Yeah, and they're really following the same blueprint that he had at Buffalo. First 2 years, really a big struggle. Now, with Leipold, they're sitting here at 6-2 with a chance to keep themselves in this Big 12 race with a win tonight.
For Matt Campbell, bowl games in 5 of the last 6 years, but we said 4-8 last year. Lost 8 of the final 9. They bounced back in a big way, and they host this seed tonight.
Yeah, this team's already won more games this year than they did all of last year, so they've taken a big step forward.
Kansas won the toss and deferred, and Tabor Allen's kickoff rolls in for a touchback.